Confederacy of dunks. Toronto Raptors. Scotty B. WeTheNorth, baby.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Rivas. What is up, producer Antony Hall? How are you?
Hey, what's happening? I'm great. I'm doing good. The Raptors are 3-1 since the trade, and the world's looking like a whole different thing. You know, there's so many possibilities now. You know, it just opened up, and I feel great.
It sure is, baby. It sure is. And I loved how you were doing the aggressive points because I was like, you know,
you're hitting that hard. Like, yeah.
We are here with a special guest, big lover of the entire Ball family. Every basketball player with the last name Ball, this guy loves. They're all injured.
Okay.
So that's a tough time for you this year. Very funny dude, Antony Hall. What's going on?
Hey yo! Thanks for having me. Guys.
Hey, that's Anthony's signature greeting. Hey yo! Love it.
I love saying that.
If you hear that, you know it's him. He's coming.
As you mentioned, of course, my beloved Balls are injured or not presently in the NBA. LaMelo recently was a full participant in practice, and there is no exact date for his return. But when he does return, boy, will I be a happy guy.
I love a good Ball update. It's really great. I'm really glad that you're like you came with the full update of the Melo Ball status. It's great.
Don't know when
you
Lonzo's
must
coming
also
back.
have him. You must also have him in fantasy because you basically
in fact,
quoted his fantasy update.
In
Full
fact,
participant
I
in
do.
practice. I know where you're coming from.
That's a fantasy line for sure.
He'll be back. He'll be giving you 8 assists a game, 23 points perhaps. Who knows?
Ooh.
12
Lonzo.
missed field goals.
Hope everything's all right. Leangelo, where are you at? We actually don't know. Okay.
Missing for a
Raptors. Missing for a bit. Andy alluded to this. I mean, everything's great. This trade's amazing. Let me just throw to you first, Antony. Like, how good is this trade? Is this real? The offense is humming. Did Masai do it again?
Okay. Small sample size right now. Still early days post.
Such a small sample size.
I think maybe. I think he might have just done enough to buy his regime a bit more time to figure out what's going on, to see if this team could put it all together again. I love watching IQ. He can handle the ball. He can bring the ball up the court. He is a willing passer, and I love his like kind of weird push shot floater thing that he does. And is there a better story in all of the National Basketball Association than RJ Barrett coming home, the Mississauga Mamba himself, returning to this very part of the country to represent Canada's team and to put up like 37 points the other night? Oh, we love it here. We love a beautiful narrative of a hometown hero just making it rain.
Yeah, it's great. He had that game was wild, right? He had 37, 6 and 6, no turnovers. I think I saw a tweet either Doncic or Shea. I think one of those two are the only guys that have put up like that type of stat line this year. 37 also beats OG's career high. Obviously those players are going to be compared, and you know, OG as we speak is getting chance in MSG. So the Knicks are feeling good too. Precious is actually playing pretty good. It's a really even trade so far. Like both teams are loving this. And yeah, IQ is amazing. Where are you at with this trade, Andy? Obviously, yeah, sample size, you know, all that kind of stuff. But first blush.
I
Second
think we're starting to see the little wrinkles of the trade right now. In fact, tonight, as we record this, the Raptors are playing the Lakers and or going to play Lakers, I should say. And we don't have a center.
That's right.
Because
no hurdle,
yeah,
no
yeah.
problem. That's what I always say.
No hurdle, no problem.
It's a big problem.
So losing Precious and then not having something there to play backup if Yak Up is injured. That's a it's a bit of a middle rhyme there. But like we're feeling that right now. Now, not to say this is not the worst. I'll take I'll take the two guys from New York any day of the week and be a little light at the center position. But that's one of the wrinkles. That's a little bit of a thing. We're very thin there now. And like I don't even do we know I think Boucher is probably starting at center tonight and they got someone up from the G League or whatever. So
have we brought someone up from the G?
I don't know. This is speculation. This is what people were talking about earlier in the day. I actually not really sure what's happening. I'm sure much more connected people have already confirmed what's happening, and I just haven't heard it yet today. At any rate, that's one of the little things. But that is a little thing. I think in general, Barrett and quickly they give Darko's got more options. We talked about this last week. There's just more versions of the offense that we can run now. And I think one of the biggest things here is that we lose a ton of defense in obviously trading OG. And that's a big thing because this was a the Raptors are a defense first team. We have been for like 10 years now. And this is one of the first times where we're starting to see that balance kind of switch a little bit. Because the defense has been like average to below average this year.
Yeah,
with OG,
the defense hasn't even been great.
No, it's not been great, and now we lose OG, so like that's not getting any better, right? But we are in a league right now where what is it? The Kings have like the Kings are being outscored, like their point differential is negative. And they're like 7 games over 500 or something, and the Raptors have a positive, and we're like just right there with them, but we're 7 games under or 6 games under or something, right? So like we don't need defense, I guess is what I'm saying. So the fact that we've got such an upgrade with our offense right now, I think that's just what this team needs, and honestly, kind of what like we needed as a fan base and a franchise too, because these guys have injected so much like life into this offense that it's really fun to watch them again. And that is like, think about it. Like a couple weeks ago, we were like, "Oh, Malachi Flynn's looking great." He's scoring 8 points a game. It's exciting. We're really fucking stretching for this stuff. Okay,
times are tough.
Times are tough,
Very
dirty
tough.
puddles, like so but here we are, and like that's a big upgrade on our offense, and things are looking really great. And I don't think this is going to turn the Raptors into a definite playoff team. I think we're still going to be struggling for that play-in, and that's okay. I think like baby steps, not baby steps, but like, because I think this is bigger than a baby step, to be honest with you, but like steps, it's one step at a time, and we'll see what happens with Pascal, whether we're going to be trading him. I'm sure we'll be talking about that for another bunch of weeks. So but right now, very positive, very good. And honestly, I love that New York fans were really mad about the trade, and now they love OG. They love him. Like it's like he was there the whole time, and they like I've been watching Twitter and stuff, and I listened to a couple different podcasts and stuff, and the New York fans are all about OG now, which of course they would be. We knew that. We all knew that. All the Toronto comments are like, trust us, you guys will love OG, and they do.
He's finally getting the love he deserves from mainstream American sports media and Twitter heads, if you will.
Yeah, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, I have to agree that it's been so fun to watch the offense now with Quickly and RJ, because I'm not afraid of who the option is going to be when we need to get a basket. I am just excited to see how they'll score instead of worrying about if they'll score. And it's awesome to see, like, even though RJ can be incredibly inconsistent, even with like layups and stuff, but seeing that big body kind of carve through the paint and seeing how he can draw fouls is like pretty valuable, especially in late games when we're playing those very, very close games because our defense is now not as good and we can't like maintain a lead really. It is like very valuable for him to take those offensive possessions and make them valuable and be able to at least get some points, which is something that was not guaranteed in previous versions of this offense and this team that we've seen earlier this season.
Yeah, I mean, tons of great points there. I think RJ driving and RJ getting fouled and RJ kind of knifing through the D, or maybe not knifing through the D, kind of bludgeoning his way through the D.
Yeah.
Like,
bashing his way through. Yeah.
He kind of just pushes people and
get that bully ball.
Yeah. You have to say OG is objectively the best player in this trade. And, that's not some wild thing to say. He is the best player. But, in the same way that we were like, man, you guys are going to love OG to Knicks fans. Knicks fans were like, wow, you guys are going to love IQ. Sorry about RJ.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of, it highlights something I've always felt as a NBA fan, which is that like fit and reputation, they both sort of like are obscured by a lot of things. It's so situational. And I think reputations, good and bad, just sort of spiral. And RJ's, I even like, as someone who, like follows Canadians loosely, I always felt like he kind of got a bad rap in New York, and he's a third overall pick. He was inefficient, and he takes some bad mid-range shots, and people really like, and I said it when he came over, people were really, really, dangerously low on RJ. And, obviously he's coming off his 37-point game where he hit a bunch of threes. We will see our RJ lows, but he gives this team so much of what it needs. And for all the incredible things that OG can do, compared to a guy like RJ, he straight up can't dribble. Like, he can dribble, obviously, but not in a way where he can sort of like do it in a relaxed fashion. Like, OG driving was always a bit of a roller coaster. And sometimes that roller coaster would finish with him backing a guy down and like dunking over someone that, you just were like, how the hell did he do that? But then a lot of times it's like, no, he doesn't, his dribbles aren't tight enough. His burst isn't, big enough. Like, he's just kind of doesn't have that fluidity driving. But obviously OG's he's such a computer, right? He's such a perfect shooter, and he's just like militant on defense. Like, he's so special, right? You just can't take away what OG brings. But yeah, I mean, to answer my own question, I do think Masai did it again to the Knicks again. And I feel like, and I feel like also the Knicks kind of did it to him, right? It's one of these scenarios where,
this we keep calling it a win-win, but did they do it to us? We got to get rid of this guy. We turned 1 to 2 starters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
It's true, but it's like a situational thing. Like, I feel with Brunson just being as incredible as he is, IQ, I'm not sure they were comfortable giving him what, like,
no, they weren't.
It's rumor territory, but like, let's say $25 million, he might get paid in restricted free agency. And to your point, Andy, we have RJ for 27. So that's just like, that's 3 years. We have until 2027, and then a guy like IQ, sure, he might cost a lot, but teams around the league, they hate chasing after restricted free agents because it wastes your whole window of free agency. It's not the same as Fred. It's not the same as OG, or why people are so concerned with Pascal. When Pascal hits free agency, it's just a straight up bidding war. Like the Raptors, their only advantage is that they can pay him more. But teams have a way of getting around that kind of stuff. So the restricted free agency thing with Quickly is a major advantage because it's clear that if you go after IQ in free agency, like let's say you're Detroit and you're like, we're gonna throw IQ a huge sum of money, you're ultimately just wasting your own time because the Raptors are gonna match, right? So
well, they have to. I think in order for the trade to still be win-win, and in order for us to move forward in the right direction, I think you have to. You have to do absolutely everything in your power to retain him because he's the part that we were missing to make the Scotty equation make sense, I think. Yeah. Because even though right now with Siakam still on the team, that we weren't, if that trade doesn't happen, we don't know what is possible. And now that we have like a capable ball handler who makes Scotty a bit more of off-ball kind of guy, and we don't rely on him to move that half-court offense or to bring the ball up, then that opens up a lot more offense, as we spoke about earlier, and the variations. And like even tonight, like, are we going to see Scotty at like the small ball 5? Like, who knows? But it wouldn't have been possible if we don't make that trade. So,
yeah, and it opens up for Pascal, and it's too bad we only got a couple games, but man, has it opened it up for Pirtle.
Yeah,
like he looks just a lot better in space, and I think it's weird that we're just making fun of ourselves, rightfully so, Andy, with like, oh man, Malachi, but can I just say, oh man, Jonte Porter, like, you hear what I'm saying? He looks so good, like, whatever. Like obviously was floating around the G League for a reason, and super injured and all that kind of stuff, and he hadn't played in the NBA for years since 2019. But Jonte Porter looks really good. I don't know what to say. Like I guess we'll see it over a longer stretch. But Boucher looks good. Like this team, just the vibes are incredible, and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into. I think Andy mentioned already, but the injection of swag is a huge part of what's going on right now, and IQ dancing is absolutely delicious. Like we just need. We didn't realize how much we needed a guy that dances, but a guy that dances is like, okay, we can all relax and have some fun because this guy has got a thing and it's dancing after he hits a shot. So it made me think like the Raptors have some guys, but I got a couple options for this for my own question, but I'll go to you first, Anthony. But in Raptors history, who's like your swag guy? Like who, in your opinion, is a guy that has just like totally walks with a swagger, super confident, and kind of like gives off what we're seeing from Quickly?
Well, I kind of interpreted the swag question in a slightly different manner than that, I think, but somebody who I would associate the definition or the word swag to would be someone like Mo Pete. For me, he brought a lot of personality and I think confidence. And for me, up until like a few years ago, he was like the leader in 3 points made by a Raptor. I think around like 801, and then I think it's like Kyle Lowry and probably somebody else after this now. But I always like think about the very dark times of Raptors basketball when I first started watching it, and he was unfortunately part of some of those teams. But I always had fun watching him, and he's an Iron Man as well. He never missed games, and to me, I'm always gonna love Mo Pete, and that's what swag means to me a little bit. That consistency, that the confidence, and the dependability, and the confidence, of course.
Right.
Okay, I love it. I just want to say the definition of swag: bold or brash self-confidence. But in your opinion, it's like hard worker, shows up, doesn't complain.
maybe
Not a traditional
that's-
definition.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe that's
I'll-
the kind of swag I appreciate as opposed to the boisterous version.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll say this. I also took swag meaning something else. I actually thought you meant like who has the most like little trinkets that they get from like an award show or something. So like I thought, you know.
We got handouts from Family Feud when I was warming up.
Yeah. I think Jose Calderon has the most of that type of stuff.
He's collecting those coffee cups.
Yeah, like lanyards and stuff, and like you know, like pens with the name of the company on it and stuff like that. But no. I mean, listen, there's one answer for this, and if we're not going with Anthony's version of swag, if we're going with the version that you were talking about, there's no swag. There's no more no. Okay, there's no Raptor that's been filled with more swag than Vince Carter when he won the dunk competition. It just doesn't get any bigger than that. Vince going, it's over, is the ultimate Raptor swag, and it never got any higher than that, and it probably never will. Even with the championship, we didn't have guys acting the way Vince did when he was like crushing the dunk competition. Truly,
it's true. That team was all business.
Yeah, like I want to say like Lowry or something, but like Lowry does have some, but like not in the same way like Vince did. And I think Vince had that like hard edge attitude, like cockiness to him that like is a valuable thing for athletes. At when you get to that elite level, it's part of why I always admire artists and athletes who have that, because like it might be a little off-putting, like if you know, personality wise, but I think it's actually me too. I'm the same way, and I love to see it, and I love and I go like I could never be like that, like, you know, I'm just like that's just not who I am. So like, but I admire that's a part of them, and that's why they're there. Honestly, like guys like Vince, and why they're that good, and you know everything. Anyways, Vince Carter, number one, no question.
I would also like to add a more recent entry, because this was my original
into the
answer.
Quiet, hardworking category, or actual swag.
I think this was real. This was real.
Some would say the opposite of swag, or actual swag.
Not the unassuming, reliable worker swag. But this one, I think for entertainment and I think culture, you gotta give it to Serge. Like Serge Ibaka brought a remarkable amount of swag, especially when it came to appreciating the finer things of Toronto, fashion, and having his food show. I think some memes too, like the memes with OG and the scarves. Like I think that was really important to the Raptors winning culture and that enjoyment of the previous era of the Raptors that we've had.
So I have a couple answers. I think Vince is the answer. Serge is a really good one. I love just like the Mo Pete shout out. And by the way, this is just a mini tangent here, or just mini aside. Anytime Jose comes up, I always think of like this should be a category in and of itself, but sometimes there's weird rumors about athlete or celebrity that are completely untrue, but just like take off. And one was that Jose Calderon was a billionaire because his family in Spain were like super successful pig farmers. Yeah, and that was like a real rumor. And then it actually got to a point where he's like, I don't know where this came from. People need to know I'm not a billionaire. I am wealthy from basketball. My family is not billionaire pig farmers.
Pig farmers is insane.
Yeah. Please don't come to me for Iberico ham. I don't know how to get that other than buying it traditionally. I don't have a plug for it. Please leave me alone.
But so my guys, I got a couple. I want to shout out just current squad. I think that he does have a lot of swag. Scotty Barnes, he's not the swag guy, but the slow down dunk, that's new. I haven't seen that, like where you just look at the guy and you're like, I'm gonna dunk, I'm gonna stare at you. He has a lot like that thing earlier in the season where he said he was gonna take the three. At the end of the San Antonio game. instead of the two. Like he's got a lot of that, like I'm the guy,
Yeah.
I'm him stuff. And then I have some kind of sort of funny guys. Rafer Alston, I think, had a lot of swag. Skip to my Lou. You gotta love Rafer. Lou Williams.
Yeah.
Lou Williams had a ton of swag when he was a Raptor. And the other guy I wanted to shout out, like not in a like he was so annoying to watch, but every once in a while he would just like hit 3 like fadeaway threes in a row for no reason. Marco Bellinelli. So this is like he would like he would also just make you mad because he would suck sometimes, and he had much better playing days after being a Raptor, but he had some major swag games.
Have I told you? I think I probably told you. I don't know if I've told you on the show, but one of the funniest interactions that I've ever had with you, Freddie, is and me and my friends in my old sketch group, we still do this all the time to each other. We reference this moment that we had with you. Is we came into Comedy Bar, you were there already, and you came up to us and to me, and you were like, "Yo, did you guys hear the Raptors got Bellinelli?" You were so excited, but listen. So you were really stoked about Bellinelli. No, listen. Let me finish. You were like, "Yo, did you hear the Raptors got Bellinelli?" And we were like, "Oh," and then you did this. You did like the huge shot motion. You did the huge shot motion. You just went brick. So you knew.
Okay.
You were excited about the acquisition, but at the same time you knew it's Marco Bellinelli. Brick. It was so funny. We laughed so hard. Literally to this day, we'll be like, "Yo, did you hear the Raptors got so and so?" Brick.
Honestly, I don't remember that, but I'm both proud of myself and shame on me.
Yeah, it's both. It really is both.
Like
Perfect.
waiting to tell friends that I'm happy that. But I mean, that was dark Raptors times. Like you're just enjoying
fully.
Bad stuff.
Yeah.
But this okay. I'm going to switch to the NBA now. This isn't really a recent thing, but my wife actually sent me. I'd heard about this this fun post from Steph Curry where he is like super categorical in the way that he rates every arena's popcorn. So he will he's made a whole graph. The Raptors, by the way, are 6th in the league. Like he tests, like he has all like a crunchiness, freshness, like all this this really sort of like in-depth popcorn rate. He loves popcorn. Clearly, I would hope so. And anyways, it made me think like if you had to rate something in every arena, what would it be, and what's sort of what's your system going in? Like what matters to you about said thing that you're rating? I don't know if anyone wants to jump in.
Okay, I got one right away. For me, it's easily I'm rating. I don't know what you call them, but like, what do you call like the crew who like comes out and like gives away the swag, like to give away like the t-shirts and stuff, like
the Mo Peeps.
The swag crew, yeah. The hardworking, honest, quiet.
That's right. Reliable.
Yeah, reliable. They're there every day. Exactly. That's the swag we need.
Arena
whatever. The crew, like whatever. Those people. I'd be rating them on how far and high they can shoot and throw the t-shirts. Because here's the thing for me. They should all be going to the upper bowl.
100%.
Okay? You shouldn't be giving any of those t-shirts to the people in the 100s. Those people are rich enough to get 100 seats, and if you saved up and scrimped and saved and you got your 100 tickets, honestly, good for you, but I'm sorry you're not getting a t-shirt. T-shirts go to the 500s only in my books. Now, obviously, that's not true around the league, so I'm going the average height that the t-shirts go to, and I think the higher the better, and I think it's something that the Raptors can improve upon. We got the thing where like they drop like balloons, sometimes.
Yeah,
they
drop the parachute things.
Yeah, the parachutes. Yeah,
I'm always scared that someone's gonna lean over. That thing freaks me out.
No, Maud Flanders. No.
As a person,
Yeah.
as a person who famously caught, by famously I mean in my own mind, caught 2 T-shirts at a Marlies game and then later the same day at a Leafs game. The first time it's ever happened to me in my entire life that I caught the T-shirts. I caught 2 T-shirts. I opened them up. I looked at them. I'm like, I don't want this, and I like gave them both to like kids behind me.
I just
So it's
wanted
like,
the thrill.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It was a thrill. It was a real thrill at the Leaf game, especially. Very big thrill.
Marley's game. You
Marley's
basically
game, hey, fun.
Walked over a couple of rows and picked up a certificate.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that one it was like bam, caught it out of midair.
This is good. T-shirt trajectory. That's
yeah,
important.
I need and distribution. You know, I need a nice even distribution.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how you're getting this done. Maybe a couple like sophisticated.
It's gonna take it's gonna take a lot of observation, a lot of cameras. I'm gonna need a big setup.
Yeah, you need to be in the arena 4 hours early.
yeah. I need to really just find the trajectory. It's a lot of calculus.
This is good. Anthony, what are you rating? How are you doing it?
Okay, so I think I went with a more traditional, unassuming, reliable, dependable, swagalicious arena food.
How many Mo Pete posters in every arena?
I went with a very standard hot dog, probably, is what I'm going to rate.
I thought about the hot dog. Sorry.
And I would put it in what I will lovingly call the glizzy graph. And the glizzy graph will be plotted based on the average of 3 scores. So I'm going to evaluate a hot dog based on the quality of the bun, the quality of the meat, and or whatever vessel it is, and the taste. So the bun, it's like, how soft is the bun? Where'd it come from? Is it
Where'd it
stale?
come from?
Yeah.
What do you mean? The bread factory, dude. Yeah,
Lighter, dude. And that's the meat too. I want to know if it's,
the meat makes more sense. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
You looking for like an international? Are you looking for like an international bun?
I'm talking
What's
about
happening?
maybe a brioche. We're talking.
You want a brioche, yeah, not just a regular egg.
This is important.
Not an egg bun?
Do they have a gluten-free option? You know?
Sure.
Are they all from some kind of weird bread factory like Andy's talking about?
I said the bread factory, right? That's where I assume all my bread comes from.
The Wonder
One
Bread,
factory.
The
The one factory.
And of course the taste, there could probably be like very specific subcategories and sub-scores to the taste, like the snap of the wiener or whatever, the how juicy it is, you know.
The snap of the wiener.
The snap of the
like,
wiener.
Clipping all of these little things that I'm talking about with hot dogs just to blackmail me later.
We're gonna light you up, man.
Yeah, I'm done for on the app formerly known as Twitter. But and then I guess I would have like a bonus score as well for the amount and variety of condiments available.
Yes.
But essentially, I would take just one bite with no toppings for my initial evaluation and plotting of the score on the glizzy graph. And I, of course, would have to travel to all of the NBA arenas to rightfully determine these scores because everybody's taste is different. So I couldn't just like rely on somebody else in a different city who also likes hot dogs. I have to go myself.
I feel like the Scotiabank Arena has really dropped the ball when it comes to condiments for hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As of late, like when it first started, like when it was the Air Canada Center, I felt like they had like real good hot dog toppings for a really long time, and then eventually it was just like, okay, the mustard and ketchup machines are over there, and if you want relish, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? It's like they don't even have packets of relish anymore. It's like this sucks now.
Mm-hmm.
So like the hot dog for the Scotiabank, I gotta say is probably pretty low.
I would have to agree, and the quality of the buns and the meat.
The foot long is better because like, you get like peppers
yes.
and onions and stuff on it. But like
Yes,
we're talking about standard dog, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm evaluating all on the standard dog, not on the premium dog.
Yeah, no. Freddie, what about you? What's your thing?
Yes.
Okay, check it out. I'm not qualified to judge or.
You're not qualified
I'm not qualified, period.
for anything, really.
I'm not qualified for a lot of things. Okay, I have my license, but
That's true for a lot of people.
yeah, I can drive. But dance crews. I want to see every dance crew. I want to see like what their vibe is. Are they like a more traditional kind of like Lakers girl thing? Is it sort of like, the Raptors have a full dance crew? They also have like a junior crew. Like, what's the vibe? Like, first of all, I'm gonna be judging the actual dances. Okay. The medleys. Sometimes the mashups are too hectic. Okay. The theme. Right. There's a lot that goes into it, and I know they do. They all claim to be the best, right? So somebody's got to be the worst, and somebody's got to be the best.
For sure, someone's got to be. I bet you there's a team out there where they're all off on the time, and they're falling a lot, and they don't really know where they're supposed to be standing.
That's right.
Which team? Okay, if you just had to guess. Okay, what team has the dance pack where it's like, no, what are we doing? Oh God, and they're all falling and tripping and stuff. What do you think has which team has the worst dance pack? You think
it's got to listen, Midwest U.S. It's somewhere there. I'm sorry,
it's somewhere in the Midwest. You think? Yeah.
Maybe the Pacers.
Ooh, that's
Pacers.
probably a good one.
Pacers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Oklahoma City.
Could
maybe
be OKC. Yeah, OKC.
Yes. Maybe a little further south there, but
what's
maybe
the
not.
Utah Jazz?
Oh no, that's it. No, that's it. It's Utah. It's Utah. That's it. Utah or Indiana. You guys are right. You guys are better ones than me.
And also, I don't know enough. So like, if
bunch of Mormons trying to dance? No way.
But maybe
no way. I don't see it.
Maybe it's like
but
these
they're organized.
Mormons are sick. You know what I mean?
They're in sync.
Yeah, maybe they're just like the spirit of Joseph. Whatever his name is.
Same hive mind, the Joseph Smith hive
mind.
Yeah.
It could also be a thing where it's like I so don't know what I'm talking about, that like maybe there is a team that's like, we don't even have a dance crew. So why don't you just take the night off?
Yeah. Have you seen that trend on TikTok or like Instagram Reels or whatever, where like it'll be like the dancers from the pack, and one of them is standing here and one of them is standing like slightly behind, and the person in the back like is doing the dance but with no music, so you're just hearing her feet like hit the ground and like the timing of the feet, and then like the girl in the front has to be like, what dance is she doing from our like rehearsed dances that we all know, and then like they're always like, ugh, like the person in front's always like, I don't know what, and then they'll be like, wait, and then they just jump into it at the same spot. It's really cool.
It's very impressive.
It's a very impressive and very fun like trend to watch. And like all the major teams, like the Lakers, all the big teams have done it. A bunch of like NFL teams too, I think. So yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
Check it out.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? This is I gotta learn. I gotta get qualified. Here's my final question, and it's just a classic league pass watch question. Who's your league pass team right now? Who's your non-Raptor team that you're flipping through and you're like, man, this team's exciting. I want to watch them for whatever reason. It can be, they're falling apart. Anthony, who's your, I'll start with you. Who's the team that you just, you're inclined to want to watch?
All right. Well, thanks to one of our amazing new sponsors of Confederacy of Dunks, FanDuel.com, I have a couple months of League Pass for free.
Nice.
And I have
wow, you're a lot of plugs in this thing.
I've been gliding around the league, watching games that have not been blacked out due to our horrible broadcast rules here in this country. And of course, I'm trying to watch every single game of my number one fantasy pick, and my favorite Canadian player, Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
So I've been watching OKC. I love that team. They have so many exciting young players and treasure trove of picks through the aggressive acquisition process of getting picks. And I love watching Chet. I was very excited to watch him last year, but then he got hurt during the summer runs, basically, and we were deprived of his true rookie season, which I guess is this season. But he's been putting up crazy numbers. I think he's already one of the best defenders in the league, perhaps.
Yeah, he's blocking the shit out of people.
Totally.
Just based on sheer alien frame and his like level of compete and hustle. And I love both the Jalen Williams on that team, and of course, yeah, you gotta shout out all the Canadian players you can. Lou Dort, the king of the Dorcher Chamber. They are so fun to watch, and I really, really think they could be a real contender in the playoffs if everybody stays healthy and they continue to play the beautiful basketball that they have been playing.
Yeah, great answer. OKC, major story this year. As of this recording, 24-11. Second in the West. Shea is absolutely an MVP candidate.
Mm-hmm.
This is a wonderful pick. I think it's a popular one too. A lot of people watching OKC. Things are just coming together for them. Andy, who's your league pass pick?
I too was going to say OKC, but I think instead, since you already talked about them, I'll say there's a couple. There's a couple right in the Northwest Division there. Minnesota's a fun team to watch, but I think I think I'm actually gonna say maybe a more of a boring answer is Denver.
That was mine. Okay, so
honestly, yeah,
I'm gonna have to go to my backup.
I mean, how is it not fun to watch Jokic do his thing every night? I see, I don't have League Pass, so I don't actually watch them, but whenever I see highlights of Jokic and Jamal Murray and the whole Nugget squad, it's so fun to watch an offense with that level of talent, centered around those guys, and it just opens up the whole team to perform together. It seems, and obviously just seeing Jokic score when it's he's not going to score it here, you know what I mean? Or oh my God, he's oh, they got him this time, and then he just shoots, throws some incredible pass to someone who you didn't even see hiding behind. It's just I don't know. They're just they seem rightfully so. They're the champs, but they just seem just a fun team to watch and to follow and be around, and to experience Nikola Jokic. This guy is one of the best players I think we've in our lifetime that we ever get to see, truly, and it's really fun because I remember when he first started getting really showing how good he was and stuff, and it's not the type of player you think is going to be that generational type talent.
He's totally,
you know what I mean?
Unique.
Yeah, it's just it's such a different thing. So that just adds to the level of fun to watch him play. And again, watching our Canadian boys, we love it. We love. So that's all fun. I love that overall. I mean, we did the Canadian player draft earlier in the year. That was a lot of fun. I love that the decline of Canadian hockey players is leading to the rise of Canadian basketball and baseball players, and we get to see Canadians, more and better Canadians in other sports. It's so fun
because hockey is becoming way more expensive and inaccessible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And basketball
and the culture is toxic and it's terrible. Honestly, don't you know what I mean? Don't play hockey. Go play basketball. Go play soccer. Do something else like that. Play baseball, whatever.
Hey, I'm with you. But all my hockey buddies are gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone listening to the love side. I like hockey too. I love the sport itself. I just think that the culture is toxic and no one's doing anything about it. Anyways, that's a whole other podcast.
Listen, you're goddamn right.
Basketball's great though.
Okay, so I don't want to go all west. I don't know what the deal is here, but I think all the league fast teams are kind of on the West Coast. I'm not sure. Maybe that's something to do with being a Raptors fan and kind of watching.
Yeah, those teams are exotic to us. We don't get to see them.
Exotic is right.
It's true. I feel this way every sport. I feel this way. The West Coast teams are completely exotic and they're a mystery and they're really fun whenever you get to see them.
Because you have to stay up late to watch them.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes it extra exotic. I hate to bring it back to hockey briefly, but being an Edmonton Oilers fan, because I'm from Alberta, I have to stay up extra late to watch those guys, and because they have the best player in the world, of course.
Yeah.
But it's it really takes an extra effort to be a fan of a team that is in a completely opposite time zone to you.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, but with that said, this has been sort of the deal for the past couple of years. even though they both, recently ish won championships. But there's something about LeBron and Curry where I find myself, it's just like the NBA puts so much marketing into the Warriors and the Lakers that all of their games like have a pageantry. And I find myself watching Lakers and Warriors games a lot. I think also they're both just a classic 500 teams, so they've been playing a lot of close games. But to throw a bone to an Eastern Conference team, the Pacers have been a delight all year. I hope I don't know what the word is on Halliburton, but he went down with a groin injury, so I hope it's not too serious. And I think in that same token, I feel for Jaw. Season-ending surgery is rough. Like he came back, killed it, and I think torn labrum. But I'm gonna go with Pacers are my league watch team, league pass team.
Very quickly, also the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic are kind of the same thing as the Nuggets and Jokic, like just an incredibly special and fun player to watch. We all know this. And also I haven't seen any of it, but I always keep seeing and hearing about the Kings and how they're just a flashy, crazy offensive team and they're fun to watch. So I think mentioning the Sacramento Kings for the first time ever in my life is something that's fun to do.
Yeah. And of course, I know they're not really a league pass team because we get most of their games on our broadcasts, but watching the Knicks for OG has been fun.
I was going to say the Knicks too. You got to shout out the Knicks.
I'm hoping that I'll never see Malachi Flynn play basketball again, but I love seeing Precious Achiuwa and how OG has like remarkably improved every facet of team defense that the New York Knicks have been playing. Like just when he's on the floor, it is like a whole different team defensively. And then when he steps off the floor, like all of the stars are scoring again. Like to bring it to like his very first game when they were playing against the Timberwolves, he was locking up Anthony Edwards like crazy. And Anthony Edwards like didn't score very much at all when OG was on the floor, but the second that he was off and they put like I don't know Grimes on or something like that, like Ant was just like scoring at will, and it was like, oh my god, like look how important of a piece OG is to this Knicks defense and to whatever future run they have this season. We owe it to him, and for all the time that he's put in with the Raptors to follow his journey. I think this year.
You know what's interesting? Yeah. None of us considered mentioning like the Bucks.
Well, I think the Bucks,
like we've now said a lot of teams. We've now said a lot of teams, and like yes, you could say this. You could say any of these teams, of course, but like we didn't consider it. And it's specifically I say the Bucks because I think at the beginning of the season, I think the Bucks would have been on like, hey, who are going to be the most exciting teams and most fun teams to watch play basketball? I think the Bucks would have been high on that list. Like seeing Dame and Giannis together is just something I know I was very excited about. I was like, these guys are going to be so fun to watch. And then like, it's not that they're doing poorly or anything. It's just that like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, they're good, I guess. And I always feel that way about Boston, so that's just how I am with them.
Yeah, and I think the Bucks are really interesting because they've been. I mean, Bucks, Sixers, and Celtics have been really good consistently for years now, and I think the Bucks specifically though, even though they made this massive trade, like you just know, Giannis alone is like 54, 55 win team. And I think the Bucks conversation would be different if they were like running away with the league. Like they're like, I think like the Bucks are like the way in which they're exciting is if they're like dominating to such a degree. Like they're 25-12, which is a 25-12.
So like they're in second place in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, but I think it's almost like they need to be on some kind of 15-game win streak. Like the expectations for Giannis and the Bucks are just sky high. And unlike the Celtics and the Sixers, who sort of are like these like really good teams that like haven't put together that championship run.
The Sixers for sure, yeah.
The Bucks have,
Yes, absolutely. That's true.
And we haven't done some disaster class teams that we have been watching because they have been falling apart at the seams. And I would like to mention the Washington Wizards, of course, and those guys and their horrible fit together. Kuzma, Poole. It's been awful to watch those games, but hey, you know, sometimes when you want to watch a good team perform a real beatdown or massacre, you have to tune in to them playing against the Washington Wizards, because Kuzma just tries to get his baskets, so does Poole, and Kispert's just chucking them away, and you have like a really fine, raw prospect in Bilal Coulibaly, who is not really getting a chance to do much.
Okay, since we're mentioning so many teams and disaster teams, I also think it's kind of odd that, man, do you remember the first 2 weeks of the season? It was Wembanyama's league. And let me tell you what, nobody's watching Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching the Spurs.
There was a point.
They have 5 wins, and it's not his fault, but no one is watching that team or talking about Wembanyama. And this is the NBA. It's hard league.
Very early in the year, my friend Norm was here, and he's up from LA. So like he watching a lot of Clippers, like goes to a bunch of Clippers games and stuff. And I think like there was a night where it was like Clippers and like, I don't know, some other like halfway decent team. Like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was like New Orleans or something like that. And then it was like it was like Spurs, like not Pistons, but close. Might have been Spurs Wizards or something like that. And I was like, yo, let's watch the Spurs game. Like, you know, let's watch. I want to see Wemby. You know, I haven't seen him. And Norm was like, this is so funny that we're watching him. But like, yeah, we're both excited to watch Wemby. But like now we see him. You know, this was back when people were still posting all kinds of highlights and stuff all over the place. And now it's like, okay, we get it. We know what he does. He's good. It's fine.
I do think I want to see him live though. Like I think the Spurs are coming here
for sure.
Honestly, I'll wait till they're good. I'm good.
And it's like, yeah, me too. In several years.
Yeah. Give me like 3 years at least. I'm good. Yeah. Or just go see, watch OKC instead. You know,
that's true. Yeah.
Chad the fact that just Chet is also here on a sick team is not helping Wembanyama,
right?
Like, because it's like, you know what, Wemby's a pretty cool alien, but also you got this Abe Lincoln alien. You know what I mean?
Lincoln motherfucker here too.
But guys, I think that takes us to the end of the pod. Shout out Raptors Republic. Shout out FanDuel,
of course.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You're coming in there. Get a FanDuel zinger, you know.
Bet on sports. Go.
Bet on yourself. But yeah, thanks so much for listening to the pod, and we will be back next Tuesday. Hopefully, the Raptors keep killing it. Anthony, is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug?
Sure. Yeah, you can follow my comedy exploits online through Instagram or TikTok with my sketch troupe at $20 Sandwich. We're putting out Instagram Reels and TikToks almost every day of the week. We're trying to stay consistent, build that cool live following and online following. Also, I have the privilege of performing some shows at the Second City, Toronto. I'm understudying the main stage show, and I'm going in for a bunch of dates in February and March. So
sick,
if you want to come see a really fun show, the 88th main stage review here in Toronto, be sure to check it out at the brand new Second City.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Check this dude out. We've never plugged on the show, but you know, just for podcast listeners, my wife's a big fan. Andy, you got to plug you and Sarah's pod.
Oh, it's just Sarah's. It's just Sarah's pod, really. I'm a guest sometimes, but my wife Sarah has a podcast. It's called The Funny Thing About Ghosts, and it's a very fun show. And she interviews comedians and the like about and they tell their own ghost stories, and they talk about ghosts. So if you like ghosts, or if you like aliens and stuff,
it's great. It's really fun and really informative.
Yeah, it's really fun. And she's had some really huge people. She's had like Colin Mockery was on the first episode. You know, Ann Pordell hosts the great Canadian Baking Show. Bunch of fun episodes out there. So yeah, check that show out. I'm on a few now. I've been on 2 or 3 episodes. So yeah, check it out. The Funny Thing About Ghosts.
Sick. And subscribe to Raptors Republic. Subscribe to the YouTube page, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.